Welcome everyone to 2022 Super Formula Round 1 at Fuji Speedway. It's been 50 years since Formula Car racing began in Japan, and Super Formula is about to start on another era in its illustrious and long career of racing in Japan. We encourage you all, by the way, to check out Super Formula's YouTube channel, which is broadcasting today's race for free all around the world. So anybody who wants to watch that in English, you've got to take a look at our YouTube channel and see all of the broadcasts there. After round 1, that is from round 2 and tomorrow, there will be a premium that you'll have to pay. But do check it out today and get some free live Super Formula race coverage. I'm here today with 2010 champion of the series, formerly known as Formula Nippon, JP de Oliveira, one of the absolute stars of the series. JP, it's great to have you here. How are you today?
Len, this is super exciting. Pleasure to be here commentating with you. We have great weather at Fuji today. We have a lot of exciting young drivers looking forward to their first racing Super Formula. We have a perfect day for good racing ahead, so looking forward to it.
Okay. All right, I'm here with JP de Oliveira today, the 2010 champion of the series, for his expert commentary and, well, his expertise, must say. So happy to have you here today, JP. You must be excited about the opening round of 2022 Super Formula.
Absolutely, Len. We have a great field of superstars and some up-and-coming drivers who are looking forward to their first racing Super Formula. Good conditions. It looks a bit windy out there today, so it could be tricky. You know, these cars are very reliable on downforce, so these winds can affect these cars. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully the weather stays in good shape until the end of the race.
Let's call Leah down in the pit lane and see how things are with her. Leah, how are things down in the pits? Looks like we can't reach Leah right now, but we'll come back to her in just a couple of seconds. JP, I was thinking about qualifying this morning and how exciting it was, and the surprise at the end to see Ukyo Sasahara just leap to the top and beat everybody else. It was an amazing session, and one that produced a couple of surprises. Also in the second place man, Ren Sato.
Absolutely, yeah. Ren Sato topped the first session and then went second in the second final session. Ukyo Sasahara got that perfect lap at a 21.4, which topped everyone by over 0.2 of a second, which is huge in Super Formula. So a very good lap from him. We should be expecting him to have a strong race this afternoon. We'll see how his car behaves on a full tank. These cars can change, depending on the amount of fuel you have. But will be exciting to see him, Ren Sato battling out the two Hondas in front, and then Hirakawa, the first Toyota, coming in third place.
Exactly, and you mentioned, of course, how tight it is and how close the margins are between cars, and exactly, a couple of tenths is a lot. If you look at qualifying this morning, the top 12 cars were separated by less than a second, and this is a 1 minute 22 second lap, and so they are very close indeed. And of course, it has really tightened up since last year.
Absolutely, and track position is really important. So, you know, if you lose 4 or 5 places due to a couple of tenths, you know, you'll be feeling be having some regrets for that, for not achieving those extra two tenths of a second, because that can be a few positions on track which can count for points, of course. So uh, we see this afternoon, we see also Sasha Fenestras, who had a strong day yesterday, topping the charts in free practice, and then this morning he will be starting 5th place. It'll be exciting to see what he brings as well. He's definitely starting this season as right from the first round. Last year, obviously, he missed most of the season, so it'll be exciting to see how he goes. Nojiri right after that in 6th place,
Absolutely.
the reigning champion, and yeah, so lots to see.
There's lots to see, absolutely. As you say, and Bajiri as well. As you can see on your screen, folks, we're looking at qualifying from this morning, and there is Ren Sato putting in that 1:21.675, and that was, in fact, he went a little bit faster. He went to 6:68 just after that, but that was an extremely impressive move at the time. And again, the qualifying session, of course, Group B is only for 7 minutes, and Q2 is only 7 minutes, and Q1 for the two groups is 10 minutes each. So, of course, there's not that much time to set these times.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Len, a very impressive start for Team Go, with Ren Sato topping the first session and then being second in the second session.
Absolutely, yes.
It shows how much good work they have done preparing for their first season.
Absolutely. Just like Otsu and Sakaguchi were breakout rookies last year and certainly really showed that they had earned their drives. Is that what we're going to see this year with, certainly with Sato and possibly his teammate as well? Well, we'll have to see.
Absolutely. We're still watching the end of Q2 now. We see as the session progressed, how close it got at the end.
We can see Tachi-san looking on as Miyata goes second.
Exactly.
And yeah, these are just
a bit of tail happy coming out of the last corner there for Ren Sato. Just aggressive on that power.
Yeah. And he does improve even a little bit, is it? Yeah, that's where he got it just a little bit better, down to 1:21.668. Amazing performance by him. And we're now about to have the interview with Ukyo Sasahara, the pole position winning driver. And we'll come up with that in just a moment. Here are the times on the charts. And you can see he did it by 1/4 of a second over Ren Sato, who himself was 1/2 a tenth ahead of Yo Hirakawa in the number 20 Impul machine. Then, of course, the first of the Tom's car, Miyata, was in 4th, followed by Fenestras, Nojiri, Makino, Sekiguchi, Alesi, and the rest as they go down to the top 12. In 13th, it's Fukuzumi, followed by Matsushita, then Kenta Yamashita, Sena Sakaguchi, Naoki Yamamoto, and the last couple of runners I didn't get to read. But we've got to see Oyu down at the bottom of the time charts at the end of qualifying was a little disappointing, but we'll see what happens throughout the afternoon with him and with a few others. Here is Sasahara being interviewed on the grid now, and he must be extremely happy. I mean, it's obviously the best place to begin the season, and he's got a great car underneath him.
Absolutely, Len. And I think, if I am not mistaken, I think this is his first pole. So I think, yeah, definitely a great way to start the season for him. If that car is working well, he'll be looking at increasing that gap in the beginning of the race, so that always in Super Formula you have so much turbulence because the downforce on these cars is so strong that if you're following a car in front, you're losing grip. So if he's starting ahead, he got a good car underneath him, he will just try to build on a gap right from the beginning, and let's see if he can do that.
Exactly, yeah. Making that little space and building it up as soon as he can, right at the start. That's key, absolutely. And of course, they'll all be hunting him down, no doubt about it. So very interesting
Hey
indeed.
guys, this is Leah from the pit.
Hi, Leah. How are you doing?
And
Can you hear us,
we
Leah?
just heard the interview from Ukyo Sasahara, who got a pole position for season opener, and he was saying, "Oh, it is a great view. There is no one else in the front, and I'm really looking forward to the race ahead." And then we have only little time to prepare for the season, and we don't know what's going to happen during the race, but we hope to finish a good position and then collect the data for the rest of the season. So I'll get back to you guys.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Leah. Thanks for that update. Excellent news. Great stuff indeed. Well, we're only a matter of a few minutes away, less than 20 minutes away from race start. We'll see a couple more interviews in the meantime, and one's coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
それでは2番グリッドルーキーの佐藤蓮選手です。
Thank you. Very happy to be back. As you say, last year was very difficult for me. I couldn't enter Japan for 10 months, so I wasn't racing for most of the year. But now, yes, I'm here since a very long time. So very excited for this new season. Of course, a lot of motivation. The team, unfortunately, last year was very difficult for them. But now, first qualifying, we are starting P5, so very exciting. Not really. It's just it was a bit more difficult Q2 for us. Q1, as you say, was good. But Q2, I had a little bit of traffic last sector, but very small, and then it was just not fast enough. I think, Honda is still very quick here. You see the top two were a little bit far ahead. So yeah, Honda is still very fast, but I think we did a good job. It's very close. Ryurakawa, Miyata, and me is really, really tight. So I think the race will be very, very interesting. I didn't send him a message yet, but I will, because yesterday I was telling him, please slow down, but he didn't. Yeah, I mean, it's good to be racing because we are sharing car in Super GT, and now we are again racing against. So yeah, I know how he fights. We raced together 3 years ago, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's been a long time, since the start of the season, nearly 2 years. I hope I can finish the race. That's my target, because my first season in 2020 was very unlucky, very difficult. Every race had an issue. So my target, top 8. Finish top 8 will be good, score some good points. If we can have a chance for the podium or something, of course, I'm happy with that. But if not, just finishing the race, top 6, top 8 will be a good target. Exactly. So hopefully today top 8, and tomorrow we aim for the podium, hopefully.
And this is the first year friend overseas, right? To watch you, right?
Yeah, this is so good. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Super Formula, for this, because for me it's so important for my friends, people, and also European fans to watch the race, and not only in Japanese but in English. So I'm so happy to be able to share, the YouTube links to all my friends, all my people in Argentina and in Europe, and they can follow my racing. So this is such a good step for international racing. I mean, to watch Super Formula, because it's such a great championship. So yeah, please keep on watching this year, and I will do my best, and hopefully we can go do some good racings. Thank you. No, Brian, thank you so much. No, Brian, thank you.
Well, it's my first time in Fuji with the Super Formula. The test as well was not so bad. The track condition changed quite a bit. It was the same for everyone, but I didn't feel myself quite confident yesterday in free practice as well. I feel like we did a step forwards compared to free practice yesterday, but it's still not exactly what we want as a team. But I think there are a few tweaks I can improve. A few tweaks we can see where we can improve on the balance of the car. But overall, obviously we want a bit more, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I know physically I'm doing fine. I did a double entry practically the whole season last year. So yeah, physical condition for now, it's not a problem. Yeah, it looks like it's a bit more easy to watch because last year was a bit tricky. If it wasn't Red Bull TV, it was a bit tricky to watch. Now it looks like it's a little bit more accessible. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's nice. They have to wake up early, but it's I guess it's for the best. Well, it's always nice to have you guys around. I hope to see you guys, more of you guys, especially when the COVID situation starts to become a little bit more free. So like this, we can do some autograph sessions, we can talk shows together, we can ask each other questions. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys, and please support Tom's team and car number 36. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, this is the fastest man in Japan. That was Kazuyoshi Hoshino. We could just see him on the screen for a moment there. I wonder if we'll come back to see him.
Yeah, Len, let's talk about these the two foreigners that were doing the interviews there. You could see Sasha.
Certainly.
You know, Sasha. I actually thought he was very modest when he said he wants to achieve a top 8 here. I'm sure he's aiming for higher than that. You know, I think he's a contender today. He could be aiming for a podium today, and you know, it seems like that car is working well this weekend. The Kondo Racing team will be working on that strategy to put him forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, he has some quiet confidence there. He seems, grinning like a Cheshire cat. I mean, we'll have to see how he goes, but I expect he will do well. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things do go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, Giuliano Alesi also seems to be.
牧野選手にお話をお伺いします。牧野選
Well,
手
we've got an
今シ
interview
ー
with
ズンから
Makino on
5
the
社
grid.
に乗り換えということ
But,
で、チームとのコミュニケー
We'll
ションなど
just
雰囲気いかが
pass over that.
ですか？
Continuing to talk about Giuliano Alesi, he seems to be very comfortable in the car and just improving all the time, it seems, from my point of view. But what are your thoughts?
Well, Giuliano, you know, if you look at his teammate in 4th place, I think he's down in 9th. So obviously he will be looking at that data, trying to extract those 3-4 tenths that he needed. I think that's why you could notice a little bit of disappointment in his in his expression. But you know, he's got a long race ahead, and he's got to keep cool and then just go forward. So in Super Formula, everything happens. So
Hey guys, this is Leah from Pit.
yeah, we'll see.
Okay, we will.
Come in, Leah.
Sorry for disturbing. And that was Makino. He is P7 today. P7 today.
P7?
And then he was saying last year he was sick, so he missed the first 2 races last season. And he said, I'm really glad to attend the race fully this season and looking forward to it. And of course, after this, he wants to finish in the podium position. But first, he wants to finish whole race safely and then hopefully to fight at the top. Okay, I'll get back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Leah. Very informative.
Yeah, Makino is an exciting driver. He won the Super GT Championship, and he's here, you know, driving for the Docomo team, Dandelion, together with Otsu. And yeah, I'm sure he's aiming for another strong season ahead. Last year he missed a couple races, as Leo was mentioning. He was sick in the beginning of the season, but I'm sure he'll be very motivated to start this season on the right foot.
Absolutely, and very motivated, and with a great car under him in a great team. So everything to play for Makino, there's no doubt about it. And he's moved over from the number 6 machine to the number 5 car for this year. It's a team, obviously, he knows well, but one of the stronger teams on the grid, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, for sure. They have the experience. They've been winning championships before. So another team that knows about winning championships, right here, you see on the screen,
right here,
the Tom's team. They are the Pac-Man of eating championships in Japan. They do know how to win championships. Yeah, I mean, a lot to look forward today. Let's see. What else?
Absolutely. It is It is so wonderful that this is finally taking place after all the waiting. You know, there's preseason testing, there's practice, there's qualifying this morning and all that, but there's nothing like when it happens at the actual race.
We're having an announcement.
We're having an announcement of a series partner from Deloitte Tomatsu. This is Mr. Kaname Miki. He's basically explaining the partnership between Super Formula and the 50 Next, the campaign that's going on from this season to take Super Formula into the next era, and how Deloitte is involved in that process. Deloitte Tomatsu is involved in that process, and it is a very extensive one at that. You can look at all sorts of information about this on the Super Formula website, of course. We encourage you to visit that and learn more about it. There are all sorts of things that fans can get involved in as well, so we will be covering more on that as the weekend goes on. But this gentleman is the head of Deloitte Tomatsu, and he is giving the speech at the start of our partnership together. So this is, again, to mark 50 years of Formula Car racing in Japan. And the next 50 project is to see what happens with the next 50 years using sustainable materials, reused fuel, various components that can be recycled and so on, all with a view to a carbon neutral existence. So it's all very exciting and all very scientific. And of course, alternative fuels are all part of that. And so it's all part of, it's very timely and topical thing, of course. And it is a big part of what's moving this series forward. Now we see on screen, this is with the onboard, with the app. There is an SF Go app, and this is the onboard screen for SF Go, and some celebrities talking about it in various aspects that can be used with that. There is, of course, Nojiri and Sekiguchi, both at that press conference. We're back on the main grid, and it's not too far away now, less than 9 minutes before we start the formation lap, so we're getting closer all the time. And the excitement is building. It's palpable.
Oh yeah, I mean, now just you get ready, you get in the car, get in your zone, focus, make sure all your senses are activated, because you want to get off as soon as that light goes. And
absolutely,
you want to get to turn one ahead. You want to get that start just right, and put yourself in good position.
And that looks like it's Kamui Kobayashi there, and there is, oh yes, these are the test cars for the 50 Next campaign, and Next 50 campaign, pardon me, Next 50 project. The white and the red liveried machines with Deloitte branding on both. These are the cars that are being used by, it's Tsukakoshi, isn't it? It's Kodai Tsukakoshi and Hiroaki Ishiura are the development drivers for the two machines. And as I said earlier, they are testing all types of reusable materials, alternative fuels, recycled rubber and other types of components, all with a view to being more carbon neutral in the future. A very exciting campaign. And we're looking at, it appears to be, well, I can't actually see whether it's Hirakawa or it's Hirakawa. And there is the number 20 machine just being strapped in. Minutes to go before it all breaks loose. Here's the starting grid, and we see it's Ukyo Sasahara up in front with Ren Sato beside him in the Red Bull machine. Then it's Ryo Hirakawa in third, followed by Hitomo Miyata in fourth, the first of the Toms machines. Fifth on the grid goes to Sasha Fenestras, followed by Tomoki Nojiri, our reigning champion. He's followed by Tarasuke Makino and Yuhi Sekiguchi in the second Impul machine. In ninth, it's Giuliano Alessi in the second of the Tom's cars, followed by Hiroki Otsu in the second Dandelion machine, and he's followed by Atsushi Miyake in 11th place and Sho Tamura in 12th. Nirei Fukuzumi takes 13th, followed by Nobuharu Matsushita in 14th, and he is ahead of Kenta Yamashita in the second of the Kondo machines, followed by Sena Sakaguchi in the Ingen car. Naoki Yamamoto lines up 17th, and he is next to Kazuya Oshima, and they are followed by Yuji Kunimoto and Kamui Kobayashi, both of the KCMG cars, right next to the back, with only Toshiki Oyu behind them in 21st place. The cars are on the grid, and as we say, just getting ready, the final few minutes of preparation before they head off for the formation lap, which will get underway at precisely 14:30 local time. That's approximately 5 minutes from now.
A little bit of a surprise, Len, there just at the end of the grid. We saw both Kamui Kobayashi and Naoki Yamamoto on the back of the grid. You know, they're very experienced drivers. You know, something just didn't work right for them so far this weekend. So we'll be looking forward to see how they progress during the race.
And we do expect them to progress. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There will be a lot of jostling. I'd say the opening laps should be extremely exciting. I'm not fully convinced that everybody's in their actual natural pecking order just yet.
Absolutely, and you know, first race of the year, so you want to make sure you score those points. You want to make sure you finish, because that's what's going to kick your season off. So most drivers here don't want to be too aggressive at the first race of the season. You don't want to get caught up in anything right off the first race, right? So
absolutely not. Yeah, and that's what you want to avoid.
And yeah, it's a long race, 41 laps. They're gonna have a pit stop to change tires, but no refueling. So tires for this season are just one spec, so we're not gonna see a softer range of tires, which they could introduce to the second part of the race, for example. So I think this race creates a different dynamic in the race. We're going to see some people going longer, some people going shorter, trying to undercut. Mostly we're going to try, I mean, people are going to try to make undercuts, especially the people who are not really at the front.
Exactly.
You know, we'll see how the race progresses in that respect. Safety cars are also something that really affects the race situation here. So
exactly. Oh. We're just getting the cue for the Japanese national anthem, so we'll ask for everybody to remain silent while it plays for the 30 or 45 seconds that it does.
それではただいまよりレース前におきまして開催国日本の日本国歌を演奏いたします。場内にいらっしゃいます皆様、関係者の皆様、恐れ入りますがご起立ご脱帽のご協力をお願い申し上げます。皆様ありがとうございました。どうぞご着席ください。
Thank you all very much, and wonderful to hear the Japanese national anthem there. And we will continue, and let's take a look at, well, we've got the tire change window here and from the 41 lap race. The mandatory tire change will be allowed to take place from as soon as the lead driver has entered the 10th lap, and any time from then until the lead driver enters the final lap of the race. Obviously, changing tires before the final lap of the race would be preferable.
Well, exactly, especially as you take time to warm them up. So it's going to depend on what track position you have. It's going to depend on what the team is telling you. You just have to, you just have to play along with the team, trust them, because they're seeing what's happening on track, and you gotta have that communication going with the team, and then following their advice.
Absolutely, because they can see a lot of things there in terms of data and so on that you can't see in the car, and the drivers have to trust their teammates in that regard, of course.
Exactly. As they start the formation lap, we see, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, these series we don't use tire warmers, so it's the drivers are working those tires as much as they can on this formation lap, and to start the race they are not ideally to temperature, so it's very tricky out there, especially getting into turn 1.
Especially getting into turn 1, that's right, and getting safely through, and especially with the cars being so close in their qualifying times, it could be just a gaggle getting through turn 1 there, and who knows. Let's hope it's clean. I certainly do.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. But it is all to play for, and we've all seen lots of action at turn 1, haven't we? So over the years, so it's yeah, you never know, but let's hope it's a clean one, and we have a super exciting race. I'm sure we will. So,
exactly. So we're, as you see, the drivers going through the hairpin there. From here, you are in the middle of sector 2. As you're coming down this sort of bend to the right straight, you're coming down to the V corner. It's the slowest part of the track, and you probably gonna see some attempts here on lap 1, because they can slipstream through down that straight, and then it's a very hard braking zone there. So you often see drivers trying to overtake on the outside of V corner, because if you can get the jump, if you can brake later and turn in together, you are on the inside for the next left-hander, which is it's a V corner. So you go right, it's an elbow, but you go left right away. Yep. So
exactly.
A very normal, a very usual move, that one on the V corner.
And as the first of the cars come around onto the main straight, the excitement is building, or I certainly feel it. And just this is going to be wild, and just great to see these 21 identical chassis being run by some of the top
This is Leah from the pit.
Hello, Leah.
I'm sorry for disturbing us before the start. Let me tell you the condition on the circuit. And it's 23 degrees Celsius and then 30 degrees Celsius on the track degree.
Track temperature,
and
good to know.
Really
Thank you.
Sunny. I'm sorry, track temperature. And it's really sunny, and then home straight and then pit lane is under the sun. It's really warm up there.
Well,
I'll get back to you guys.
Thanks. Excellent.
The temperature just changed a lot from the last 2 weeks. We had cold weather at Fuji a couple weeks ago, and
Yep.
yeah, I mean, just Fuji up in the mountain, the weather changes quite often.
Yep. And here we are as they are getting together onto the grid. It's only a few seconds away, folks. This should be amazingly exciting. Will Finestras leap to the front? Who knows? You can see a list of the winners from the last 5 years from the opening round here at Fuji Speedway. Flashing off your screen there, and as we see the cars line up on the grid, we've got about 10 of them lined up now. And there is Kazuyoshi Hoshino.
There is the man.
The man, the fastest man in Japan. Winner of no fewer than 133 car races.
He
Amazing.
is as intense as he gets. You just stand next to him and you can feel the intensity and the passion about racing. Here we go. Last
Speaking of
grid.
intensity and the passion about racing, do we have lights about to be switched on and then turned off rapidly? Let's see. Only a few seconds away. Got the green flag. Five red lights, and they're out, and they're off. It is round one.
Someone stayed on the grid.
2022, and someone has stayed on the grid.
It looks like it was Ren.
Sato, unfortunate indeed. We're into turn one, and it looks clean up to the moment. It looks as if Sasha Fenestras has moved up to second place. It's amazing, and that must be, is that Hirakawa in front of him?
That
It
is
appears it
Hirakawa
might
in front of
be.
him. So
And that
it's
is Miyata in third. Fantastic. Fantastic start by Hirakawa. Sekiguchi looks to be up in fourth. Am I seeing that correctly? Could it be?
That's right, Len. This is a crazy start, to be honest. We see a lot of moves being made right here as we come to the V corner now, and Miyata trying to go down the inside, but he's not going to have room.
Fourth. There's Nojiri.
Oops, that's a bit of touch there.
He's been. Oh, that is unfortunate.
That was a touch of wheels there. It's yeah, not the ideal.
Not the ideal outcome on the opening lap. No, definitely not. But Team Impul cars are up in first and third. Excuse me. And the pack
Hey
behind
guys, this is
them.
Leah from the pit.
Go ahead, Leah.
Number 50, Matsushita Nobuharu, he came back to the pit lane and he just pitted out.
Okay.
And I get back to you
Hirakawa
guys.
is well out in front with Fenestra 6/10 behind. And followed in third by Sekiguchi and then Miyata, not far behind him at all. And that was Kenta Yamashita about to be passed by, is that Naoki Yamamoto up to 10th already? It's amazing. He's jumped up from 17th in one lap.
Absolutely, he really made good use of his experience in this lap one. We see many drivers locking up and going off and struggling because, as I was mentioning before, these tires are not up to temperature yet, and it's very difficult when you have other cars around you. If you don't have that downforce, you know, and you have cold tires, then you can cause this. You know, you can cause hesitation and accidents.
Yeah, or hesitation, or unexpected things, which you do not want. Absolutely not. Yeah, and it looks like Sato there in 18th. That is unfortunate, of course, but that's the way it goes sometimes. At least he wasn't. There was no contact with anybody else, so that's good. But very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he's down in the back, but you know, he will have to cool his head and then try to recover from there. He can pit early and try to undercut some of the people in front. We'll see.
And Sasahara is another one who has fallen all the way down from first to 19th. I was spending so much time looking at Ren Sato going slow there. I didn't see that Sasahara had gone back as well. And
absolutely,
so anything can happen.
Two front row starters right at the back, but what a surprise!
Right at the back. Yeah. And look, here's one of the TCS Nakajima cars. I think it's is it Yamamoto passing? Is it Yamamoto passing or being passed? I couldn't quite see it, but no, it's actually it's Oyu being passed by Yamamoto. We've got a yellow flag in turn 7, so we'll soon see that. But we don't see it yet. So, but still, it's Hirakawa leading with Fenestra second and Sekiguchi following closely behind in third, with Miyata fourth, champion Nojiri fifth, and Makino and his teammate Otsu in sixth and seventh. And they are followed in eighth position by Kenta Yamashita in the second of the Kondo machines, followed by the second of the Tom's cars with Giuliano Alesi in ninth, and Naoki Yamamoto, the three-time champion, following behind in 10th. Well, there's Hoshino-san, and he looks pretty happy, even though he's wearing a mask, and I can't see his expression that well, but he would be, wouldn't he?
He does look happy. Yeah, you can see on his eyes. He's not, if he's not banging on a table or anything, he's happy.
That's right. Absolutely.
What a legend, but yeah.
What a legend, indeed, indeed. Great stuff. And more action back up in, was that Yamashita? Oh, it is Yamashita getting past Otsu for 7th. That's, yep. And there is team director
Kondo-san.
And your boss, and great guy, a legend in Japanese racing.
Yes, another, you know, he came from the art industry, but he, you know, a lover of motorsports. So here we see the starts,
yes,
and
you
Ren
can
Sato
see that
just
both
did not move.
Sasahara and Sato both have terrible starts. Sato the worst, but
yeah,
sorry,
he just stalled the engine there. Sasahara stalled the engine.
Sasahara just having the worst start more than Sato, but yeah, very unfortunate. But maybe it was panic, who knows? But there we are. But the rest of them, most have gotten away cleanly, and it is interesting to see though first and second way back down in 18th and 19th so quickly. Oh, and that is the 3-bond Drago course machine of Nobuharu of Fukuzumi, excuse me, and that's an early exit for him, and unfortunate too. Sato's slowly moving back up the order. He's just passed Kobayashi for 16th. And up at the front, Fenestras is keeping Hirakawa honest, but he's not making inroads really, but he's certainly keeping him in his sights. Sekiguchi in third is 2.5 seconds in arrears.
Yeah, they are allowed to use the overtake system for 200 seconds during the race. So I think Fenestras is, you know, pondering here whether he uses now or leave it for later. I'm sure he's in a striking position right now. If he can keep this distance going into the main straight, he will be able to use the overtake system. So I think Hirakawa will be also watching on that. So
yes, absolutely. And it would be a great illustration if we can see that happen and we see the lights flash. As you know, it's been expanded to 200 seconds per race this year, up from 100 last season.
There he is.
And here he comes. And so for the first 8 seconds that the overtake system button is on, the lights do not light up so as not to alert the other drivers. And so they will have the OTS system, the overtaking system button on, and the lights don't go on for the first few seconds. So it's not always readily apparent that they've got it going.
You see Kondo-san just watching the monitors, but not celebrating too much. He's very tense, you can see, but surely very happy with Sasha taking the front here. Let's see if Hirakawa can stay in a close distance so that he can also try and use his overtake
come back
system.
And exactly, and do the same thing again. Or will he be able to stay close enough? This will be interesting. But it's early days yet, so. Meanwhile, for Hirakawa and Sekiguchi to be in second, that must make Hoshino-san very pleased indeed. We do have 4 Toyota-powered machines at the top of the charts at the moment, and of course the Honda runners will want to be making inroads, but we wouldn't really have seen this last season. You know, 4 Toyotas on top. You might have seen it once or twice, but not a brace of 4 of them together. And here is our reigning champion, Tomoki Nojiri, in 5th. And will he get close enough to Miyata? Is he using the overtake system?
They both are.
They both are, and but he's not quite close enough to make it stick. But yeah, Fenestras is out in front, but he's not making huge gains. He is 8 tenths away, but he's not off into the wilderness. Interestingly, back down, halfway down the grid, or halfway down the order, Oyu has passed Yamamoto for 10th. And so we're looking now at, of course, Nojiri and his position. Of course, he's moved up 1 since the start. Estres has moved up 4 positions, and he's won. Well, it's gone now, but the man who had moved up more than any other was Oyu, in fact, who has moved up 11 positions. Toshiki Oyu in the number 65 machine has moved up from 21st to 10th, and we're on lap 7. So he might be someone to watch if he can keep that pace up. We'll have to see. There are all sorts of factors that are involved, so it's difficult to predict.
Kenta Yamashita as well, jumping 8 places. Also had a great start.
That's impressive. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's it. He was down in 15th. He started in 15th. He's up in 7th. Fantastic. And here we have, this is Giuliano Alesi, and being followed closely by the man I was just speaking about, Toshiki Oyu, who may be adding 1 more position to his tally. Let's just see how close he gets in, well, after we get out of the hairpin. Oh, Sasahara has gone off. I wonder.
Does he have a flat tire? It looks like a flat tire
does,
to me.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he does have I think a rear left puncture.
Ah, that's it. Yeah.
And yeah, that's seems to be the case.
Hey guys, this is Leah from Pit.
Hey Leah, go ahead.
Team Mugen is getting ready for a pit in. I think they're waiting for the Sasahara Ukyo to change the tires. Back to you.
They sure are. Thanks, Leah. Thanks for that.
Unfortunately for him, he's still out of the window. So
that's right.
He's just, if he had another lap, that would have worked in his favor.
He's just 1 lap early. That is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate because he will have to pit again before the end of the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is too bad. That's too bad. But as we look back, it's progressing well. Nobody's made any great moves over the last couple of seconds, but we're looking now at, that is Toshiki Oyu, of course.
Oyu made another place now on Alesi.
Oh, my apologies. That's his teammate, Yamamoto. But Oyu has made another place. He's up to 9th. Good on him. So he's on a tear. Yes, there he is, right in front of Giuliano Alesi. And here we see, of course, this is Nojiri chasing down Miyata for that coveted 4th spot. Will he attack this time around? Fuji Speedway, of course, has one of the longest main straights in the world, 1.5 kilometers, almost a mile long. And it is one of the highest speed spots in all of Japan. Wouldn't you agree, JP?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just noticing there, Nojiri, he was with striking distance, but he didn't use the overtake system. I wonder why that is. Is that maybe because he's not too confident about being faster on the straight? Maybe they're running more downforce. Maybe the engine is not matching at the moment. I do not know the reason, but I was surprised because he was close enough and he could use the overtake system, but he chose not to. Maybe he's saving for when he has clean space ahead of him. Maybe after he pits. Sure. So
it's interesting to see the strategy that people are employing. Of course, yeah. And now that we've gotten on to, oh hi Leah.
Just for your information, Ukyo Sasahara, he changed the 4 tires, but he got rear left tire flatted, but he changed 4 full tires. And then some of the teams are getting ready for the pit in. Back to you.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Yeah, Nojiri is going to be the first one to come in. You see, he's trying to outsmart everyone here. By pitting alone, he's going to be the first out on track, out of the ones who didn't stop. So who stopped? Sorry, and then he will have that
clean track.
That clean track. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So well strategized, I must say.
That's what he's looking for. See, they must have a clean pit stop.
It's looking good from here. All good,
Yeah.
nothing unexpected. Great, easy getaway, good. All smooth and clean, excellent. Good, we should probably see, as we have seen actually, a brace of cars coming in now, and yeah, they want to change. Why do they want to change, JP? Why do they want to change tires as early as this? I mean, this is the start of the tire window.
Hey guys, this
Wouldn't-
is Leah.
We hear Leah.
Go ahead, Leah.
At the pit, number 64 Naoki Yamamoto, they have a trouble changing the tire, and it took a lot of time, and he just pitted out. Back to you.
Okay, thank you.
That's a shame for Naoki because he had such a good start, and he was, yeah, that will be a bit of a demotivator for him. But anyway, he will fight back, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, after the pit stops here, you see a few guys already running wide in turn 1. They're just trying to go as late as possible on the brakes there, but you know, it's very, very difficult to nurse these tires as you come out of the pits, because these cars rely a lot on downforce, and if you don't have it, you step on the brakes and it's ice out there. So you know, luckily the sun is shining, the temperatures are ideal today, so the tires will have some kind of temperature in them before they go out. But still, we see people running wide.
We do see people running wide, right. And here we've got Otsu in his pit, and the down-the-line machine making a clean getaway, although it looked like one of the Honda cars was quite slow in front of him further down the pit lane there, but didn't quite see it. But anyway, Finestras is still in front, and Hirakawa is not far behind him. Neither of these guys have pitted yet, of course, but they should be at some point fairly soon. It looks as if Hirakawa is actually rather closer this time around. Ah, 7/10, not much closer. But would it be close enough to mount a challenge?
I don't think it's close enough. It's not close enough. They know each other very well. These guys are teammates, were teammates in Super GT, so they know how aggressive each other is. They know the skills each other have, so they will be, you know, thinking twice before making anything silly.
Yeah, acutely aware of what the other guy could be doing, yeah. And due to this pit stop sequence, some people already pitting for tires, we see that Ren Sato is up to 7th position. But it's not truly indicative because, of course, he has to make his stop. But still, back at the front of the pack, of course, Finestras leads Hirakawa still and has made a slight gain in Sector 2, but the gap... Oh, in fact, the gap has come down. I stand corrected. Excuse me. The gap is down to 0.447 of a second at the last time.
Oh, he's very close now.
He is very close, yeah. Is this the lap that we see him come back, or mount an attack to come back?
Yeah, he's definitely close enough this time.
And he's definitely in position.
And again, Sasha left some room on the inside, so he is going to take that lead.
He's absolutely going to take it. Yeah, that's a keeper, that one. Good. Well, I say so, but I could be...
Still Sasha has got a chance here. Yep.
Coca-Cola looks very narrow.
It's a very difficult place to overtake because you just... It's a lift to get into that corner, so you don't want to attempt anything crazy from the inside because it's almost certainly you're going to touch the other car.
Sure. Wow, amazing. Great move by Hirakawa, making it stick. But for how long will it last? I mean, it's wonderful to see such close racing. And will we see Finestras come back? Maybe not the next lap, but maybe after one more lap, will he be in a position to do the same back?
It does look like at this moment, Hirakawa has more pace. So I think we will see him start to pull away a little bit, and that could change strategy. Maybe the guys behind Sasha now are also pretty close. So we could see, you know, a different dynamic here with the other two, Sekiguchi and Miyata, also coming into play. They are within 4 seconds of the top 4.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all striking distance over time. Yeah. And yeah, that pack of 4 have built up a gap to the rest of them. And as you can see from 9th down, all of these guys have pitted. So it's the top 8 that still have to. Which doesn't put Nojiri in the actual top position, not at all. But we'll see how it shakes out when these guys make their stops. But do you think that doing it as early as possible, undercutting as much as possible, any potential other competitors who would do it later, do you think that's the strategy that's going to win?
I think it really depends on where you are, Len, because
Sure.
you know, if you put yourself, for example, in Ren Sato's shoes, he had to, you know, he lost all his places, and he will be hoping people get out of the way so that he can actually put his pace. So he will probably be staying longer on track, and that's why we're seeing him in 7th right now. And he will try to extend as much as possible on being on track, and then make that late stop at the end of the race. And if you were behind a car that you weren't in a position to overtake, you would probably lose a little bit of time. You would probably choose to pit in. That is usually the talk that goes on in the pits. You usually don't want to be stuck behind people, because you want to drive at the fastest pace your car can, so you want to have a clean track. It's a never, you know, in the racing, in the race is always difficult to have a clean track, but if you do pit early, then you have a chance to make some ground.
Exactly, yeah. And of course, it's all about getting clean track. If you can get it, that's what you want, right? And here we see, this is this Toshiki Oyu again in the 65 machine? I can barely read it, excuse me. I think it is. And there he is, up in 5th position now. Of course, he hasn't pitted, but one of the ones that hasn't, and seems to be controlling his pace well.
Oyu started last, so he is... Yeah, he's...
Definitely doing the long game.
I'm expecting him to go long in this first stint.
Sure. Yeah, he could, and maybe both of the KCMG, well, no, they've actually pitted, excuse me, right? They were so far back.
Through penalty for Kamui.
Poor guy.
I wonder why that is. We didn't see anything. Could it possibly be that lap 1 incident when a car spun in the V corner? But I didn't see if it was Kamui who touched him.
Somebody touched him, but I didn't see who it was. Yeah, it could have been something like that. And it would take them a few laps to make the decision.
Yeah, we didn't have a replay, so it's hard to make that call, but we'll see.
We'll see, exactly. And you know, you're absolutely right. Hirakawa has built up already a 2.2 second gap in a matter of a couple of laps. And yeah, he is on his way, it seems. Of course, you look back to Sekiguchi, and the gap is also widening.
Yeah, the gap is increasing within the top 4 now. So you see, okay, so we have a drive-through penalty because of no keep of the start signal. Actually, the way I understand that, maybe he stopped out of the box. No keep of the start signal. I do not fully understand that. It could be maybe because he stopped out of the white box. You're supposed to. That's a guess though. But
yeah, it contravenes the starting procedure. Yeah, something like that. I didn't quite understand the wording there, but something at the start, and he's contravened the rules somehow, unfortunately.
So Hirakawa now driving at a really good pace, a strong pace. Is driving at 24.6. Is pulling 0.3 of a second on Sasha per lap at the moment. So he will be looking to go longer, and now it's up to Kondo Racing to make that call. Whether they're gonna let Sasha go longer with him or not. Sekiguchi behind is also driving similar lap times to Sasha, so I think there's no urgency at the moment to stop Sasha. You know, this is the dynamic within the top 4. There's only Hirakawa is driving faster lap times at the moment. It's at 2.7 seconds ahead.
Yeah. And yeah, the top four basically static, yeah, but Hirakawa is opening up a gap, of course. And we're not quite at the halfway point yet, but we're approaching it. And it's very quick, I must say. Hard to believe. Nojiri has just passed Kamui, and well, Kamui must be in the pit, and he's serving his penalty, I suppose. Or he's dropping down the order anyway, and I expect he's in the pits now, serving that. So I wonder who among the top 7, those who haven't pitted yet, will be next to stop. So we're getting to the halfway point, and go ahead.
What we may see here, Len, is Tomoki Nojiri. He will make the undercut. That's what I can see here, because his lap times at the moment is at 24.3. He is driving at a faster pace than Hirakawa is at the front. Maybe
right.
You know, that fresher tire is giving him that chance to drive faster lap times. Remember, again, there is no refueling in these races, so the drivers are driving at the same amount of fuel. It's just the tires that are making a difference right now. Camille?
Exactly. Good point. Go ahead, Leah.
Sorry for disturbing. Okay, number 50, Nobuharu Matsushita, he just came back to the pit, and they put the cars in the garage, and they're doing some works in the garage. And then I'll let you know when I find out what's gonna happen. I mean, what's happening.
Thanks very much. Poor guy, his day just seems to go from bad to worst.
Yeah.
Bad to worse. I mean, that was the spin we saw at the very early stage of the race, and now he's in the garage with the door down.
That's
not
a shame.
sign.
That's a shame for Nobu and the BMAX team.
Yep.
See if they can get back into the race.
Yeah, and unfortunate. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get him back in the race, but of course, he's so far back now. It's just
now we see Miyata putting some pressure on Sekiguchi.
And there's Matsushita's car there now. Unfortunate. Will he go back out? Sorry to cut you off there, JP. But Miyata is getting closer too, is he?
Yep, Miyata is getting to within position to make a move. Now it's
actually just come into the pits.
Exactly. He you know, that's his decision. Maybe he decided that it would be really difficult to overtake Sekiguchi, and he is one of the most difficult guys to overtake out there, so he may be
for sure
doing the smart move here and trying to play the undercut game.
Yep. And of course, it'll get him out, obviously, away from Hirakawa in possibly clean air. We'll have to see where he ends up.
I think we will see a response from Team Impo and Sekiguchi right on the next lap.
Absolutely.
They will have to respond. We will see. If he gets out here, he's just... Where is he coming out? Is Nojiri past?
No, he's not. Nojiri has not come past yet. Did he have that much room?
I think Nojiri went past. Nojiri is ahead now. If you look at the drivers who have pitted, Nojiri has the front. He is 41 seconds behind the leader, and if I'm not mistaken, that takes about close to 40 seconds to make a pit stop. Here. So I mean, to come into the pits and leave the pits. So it will be a close call. Nojiri can be on the right strategy here.
Yep, Sekiguchi is in now. And so that's the first of the Team Impul cars, and you're absolutely right. They're trying to respond. And here is the second of... Oh, sorry, this is, of course, Sekiguchi is in. And we see a drive-through penalty for car 36. That is, of course, Giuliano Alesi, and car 12 is Nobuharu Matsushita, causing a collision at turn 3. Well, Sekiguchi is back out, but he doesn't make it stick, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Blame him for trying, though.
Yeah, he has flat spotted those tires though. I mean, he will have some vibration after that because that is a big lockup.
Yeah, that ain't going away anytime soon, unfortunately. But there we are. Very exciting to see, of course, but not good for him.
And I tell you, that Fuji straight is pretty long. When you have a vibrating steering wheel at 300 kilometers an hour, it's not very comfortable.
I can imagine. But the straight that goes on forever, absolutely. So, Hirakawa leads, of course, with Finestras second, still in second, but he's in the pits. So we'll see, is he far up enough to get out ahead?
Hi guys, it's Leah.
Hey Leah, go ahead.
Sasha just came into the pit stop, and then they do the great work is they change the tire, 4 full tires, and it went really smooth. Back to you.
Excellent, thank you. And we see Toshiki Oyu in the TCS Nakajima car is in, the number 65 machine.
And you know what, Len? We just saw Nojiri getting past Sekiguchi within his outlap, and Nojiri is now in good position because he's got his tires warm, and those guys that haven't stopped yet, they're gonna come under threat.
They are going to come under threat, and this has to be Sasha behind him. Yeah. Okay, we look back to Hirakawa on the main straight. Yeah, his lap times are not quite what they were at the start of the event, but it's all good. He's leading, that's the important thing, and he's controlling the pace. We see Tsuboi up in second. We haven't seen him up on the time sheets for ages. It's nice to see him there. Hopefully he can keep a good position till the end, but don't expect it to be too high, judging by what's gone on so far. But once things settle out, maybe he'll have a better, well, certainly a better position than his starting position. He was way down in 11th, if I remember correctly, from qualifying. Sorry, 12th.
Hi guys, this is Leah.
Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, number 50, Matsushita, he just pitted out. I guess they fixed the problem fully, and he just pitted out. Back to you.
Thank you. We see him back out on track. He's a couple of laps down, but great fighting spirit to come back out. Oh, he's just keeping out of the way of traffic.
So, Len, what I notice here in the times is that Hirakawa is now pushing very hard. I think the team went on the radio and told him that Nojiri is on a strategy that he could undercut him. So Hirakawa is now, he doesn't really have much of an option other than just put everything out there, push as much as he can. He just turned his, not just within 200ths of a second from his fastest time of the race so far. He's driving at that pace now. He's improving to a 24.4. Well, that's the pace that Nojiri has been for quite a while, and then Nojiri is just turning a 24.2 now.
Oh, fantastic! So Hirakawa is responding, and yeah, it's of course the pitting is going to take what, 40 or 41 seconds. He's right on the cusp, so he's got to make up some room. He's trying to break the toe, of course.
Oh, whoa.
Sekiguchi and Miyata coming on the inside of him, but not quite making it. Getting very close, though, and certainly trying hard. But Sekiguchi will have none of that, you can imagine.
Exactly. Sekiguchi is one of the most entertaining drivers to watch. He's very aggressive. He puts everything on the line. And, you know, the drivers, they know that. So, you know, sometimes they will think twice before they jump ahead of him or they try to outsmart him.
Sure, yeah. And, you know, it's one of the tools in his it's one of the tools in his chest, you know, of things that he can use to fend off his rivals. Look at this.
There he is.
Very close. This is into V corner.
That is a typical move down the outside of the V corner. You just, if you are on the inside, you don't really have much of an opportunity to I mean, you can't squeeze the other guy too much because you have to also turn left to the other corner. So
That's right.
It's a great place for overtaking.
Fantastic, and a super move by him, I must say. He has had some great moves over the years, no doubt about it. And yes, entertaining to watch and aggressive, a very robust driver. There's no doubt about it. And as we go longer into the race, we can see, of course, Tsuboi and Sato in second and third now. They'll be going as long as they possibly can to try and mitigate the earlier deficits.
So
particularly Sato.
The top three now, the only guys who didn't stop yet. So you can see they're pushing as much as they can.
Yeah. And they're getting ready for Hirakawa now, and he's just hit the speed limiter. I hope he's slowed down sufficiently, but yeah, he's definitely pushing hard, and he knows that the threat is coming from Nojiri and nobody else.
I'm afraid it's not going to be enough. Nojiri is going to take that lead. Yeah, it's going to be close, but I think he will have to warm up these tires, and that's
right. By that time, Nojiri will be ahead, but he may even be ahead of him.
Wow, this could
not
be
quite.
exciting.
Look at that. This is good.
Yeah, it's
Look at this.
It's very difficult here. Yeah, he has no option to just. But you know, this could be entertaining now because he will have fresher tires and still 15 laps to go. So he could have a chance at coming back here. Ryo Hirakawa towards the end of the race. So this is what we're going to look forward to now.
Absolutely, and he will make Nojiri work for it if he ends up winning. But of course, Nojiri, by the same token, will want to repeat his win from the opening round last year, and so he'll have the bit between his teeth, and he'll really be wanting to make a gap on Sekiguchi. So we'll have to see. The next couple of laps will be very interesting. Sekiguchi on fresh tires, I wouldn't want him chasing me.
Sekiguchi is now in P7, and he's one of the fastest cars on track. But he will have a lot of work to do to pass these people if he wants to come into a podium slot.
Oh, right. Sorry, I was switching over from Hirakawa for a second there. Excuse me, but but it'll be interesting to see where the two Team Impel cars end up. Certainly, the consistency last year looks to continue this year. I mean, you know, the team, it's rock solid team, and consistency is one of its keys. Absolutely. I mean, they came third and fourth in the Drivers' Championship last year, if I remember correctly, and just excellent.
Let's see this battle here.
And it is
Miyata.
Miyata makes it past Makino. Good one. Nice move indeed. Perfectly timed. And Miyata too seems to be able to just make a little bit of room right away on Makino there, but
yeah, Makino did not offer much of a resistance there. Maybe
that's right.
Maybe he's content to just let him go and then just drive his own race. If you are defending for too long, you're also hurting your race. So maybe that's one of his strategies he's applying here, just to get to the points.
Absolutely, yes. To get any points, you have to finish. So it's you got to make it to the end.
So the fastest car on track now is Sasha Fenestras on a 23.4. That's a very fast lap time.
23.4. That's a full second quicker than. Yeah, that's
exactly,
amazing.
Yeah. So he's down in 5th place right now, but once those two stop, we'll see.
There we go. Yeah, just 21 seconds off of, well, of course, Tsuboi will move out of position, and so will Sato, but only 17 seconds away from Nojiri. He looks to be in command, definitely. With only 1.5 seconds between himself and Hirakawa, that gap hasn't grown too much. This is the 64 car of Naoki Yamamoto passing Kazuya Oshima, the number 14 Docomo machine, a Docomo Business rookie machine, and he tries to come back a little bit as they go through Coca-Cola, but it doesn't happen. Yamamoto's safely ahead. But they are fighting over 16th place.
There's a big snap oversteer there as he was coming out of the hairpin.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
it is
Tsuboi.
It's Tsuboi in, and we expect this. Only Sato left, so...
Yeah, Tsuboi and Sato have been struggling for pace in the last few laps. They've both been doing around 125 when the rest of the fields are all on 124, so it's not much of an advantage for them to stay out on these set of tires. So we are not seeing tires that last until the end of the race. So they will come in and switch now.
Can Hirakawa cause trouble for Nojiri? He's certainly closing it up.
Remember, Hirakawa has probably 10 laps fresher tire here, so he will be strong, especially in the last sector. He will have good traction there, and then it's going to be down to the straight.
And how well Nojiri can defend. So, but yeah, he's getting closer all the time. He's really made some gains in the last couple of laps.
Oh, I mean, he's attacking there in the last sector. Looks like he's got a really good car in sector 3. If he can follow here and stay close, this distance,
this is close, yeah.
Very, very close.
Oh yeah, definitely, we're on. And but will he be able to get to the inside and make it stick? Or will he go around the outside?
Yeah, they're both very even on the straight. He's gonna, you see, Nojiri is gonna leave him outside. He's not gonna make it stick here. You have the traction coming out. This is going to be very tricky coming into turn 2. Wow.
Very much. But
this is a difficult.
Nojiri's still ahead. But wonderful racing, absolutely brilliant. They're so close. That's
fantastic.
Yeah, super through there.
It's very difficult to drive as they are within that much distance from each other. They need that downforce, so if they're staying this close, it's very tricky.
Very tricky, yes, that's right.
Probably Nojiri is going to leave him outside, and he knows that Hirakawa is going to attempt that outside move. So he's going as deep as possible on the brakes, but he will compromise his exit here, and you see Hirakawa going the outside. Ooh.
Yeah, this is...
Wow, wow, what a move.
That's
what
Sekiguchi's move.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
This is...
absolutely great. This is wonderful.
This is amazing.
Excellent.
I mean, this move here is very unpredictable because... You know, you would expect someone to make a move on the outside of the V corner, as I was mentioning before, but he put himself on the back foot because he didn't get the exit, and then he left himself in a, in a position to be overtaken. So
to be overtaken, amazing.
What a move! And I want to see Hoshino's reaction to that, because he will be
jumping for joy,
jumping.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was excellent. And he made it stick. For a second there, I didn't think it would last, but definitely excellent. And it's battles like this that we just absolutely love to see. We notice now that the leaderboard has come back to, or has normalized, in that Ren Sato has now made his stop. We're not down the, oh, well, he ends up 11th. So there we are, 31 seconds off the lead. And here is the move by Hirakawa again.
See, using that slipstream as much as he can, but he didn't have much of an advantage when he pulled out of the slipstream, because it was already by the end of the straight, and good defensive driving there from Nojiri. And then here again, oh, that's close.
That is very close. Yeah, coming around to Coca-Cola here too. Yeah, he obviously has to let him through. There's no, you can't fit two through at the same time.
Now here you see that he's driving more of an inside line. He's just trying to get air if he drives the same line as Nojiri, he will be losing that downforce. So, and then here, what an amazing move. I have not seen that move before here in Fuji Speedway. In
it's
Super
remarkable,
because as you see, Nojiri was expecting him to go around the outside. Now he didn't.
Absolutely.
He protected, but then he put himself in the back foot here, and then he
but
got
then
the
he
exit.
Makes it, and he makes it around, and he makes it stick. That is brilliant.
Wow.
But yeah, and it took a while. Yeah, but absolutely great move, and yeah, super close racing. Wonderful.
You know, Hirakawa seems to be driving. Hirakawa seems to be driving very relaxed, and I mean, you can see he's just yeah, his race is flowing so well. So you know, also racing in Europe, I think he's yeah, he's improving. He keeps getting better. So that was a move and a statement.
That was really an excellent move. I think, yeah, it must have a great effect on drivers to be, you know, a factory Gazoo racing driver in the World Endurance Championship. Must be an amazing thing, and it must build their game. You know, it does improve drivers, so they're absolutely at the pinnacle, and it has an effect. Hirakawa's always been highly rated, but he certainly seems to be just getting better and better as time goes on.
Absolutely. I mean, even if it's a different car, it just sharpens your senses. You know, these guys, you see, you know, a lot of drivers who share duties between, you know, two different series. You see them do well in both. It's, you know, drivers need that adaptive capability.
Yeah, absolutely. It rounds out a driver's skill. That's right, and it definitely is beneficial. There's no doubt about it. Makes for a busy season though if you're doing 2 full seasons. But of course in Japan the way it's done is so wonderfully dovetailed. Everything dovetails into everything else, so there are no conflicts, and people get to race a lot. So it's very good.
That's right. We see Toshiki Oyu, who started last, and he's up in P7. What a race he's had.
Yeah. And that's a real P7, we can say. And of course, the fortunes of his teammate, Naoki Yamamoto, so different. And they were together a while back, but no, his race is going from good to better to best, really. And great move. I don't see how many seconds he's back from the leader on my screen at the moment, but once that comes back up, but he has, of course, gone 14 positions up from his starting spot, so that is impressive.
Yep, great race from him so far.
You know, it seems amazing that it's coming so soon, but we are heading toward the closing stages, the last 20% or so, and obviously all the tire strategies have been done. The last pit stop was by Ren Sato about 7 or 8 laps ago. Speaking of which, there he is, and chasing down, well, he's chasing down his teammate, isn't he? He's chasing down Atsushi Miyake. And is he going to make a move and pass him? It looks like he is, yes.
There is not much fighting there going on, as we can see. He's,
Absolutely.
I think they've done the briefing before the race, and as a new team, they don't want to be fighting too hard each other. And now he's going to come on the back of Kenta Yamashita, and Ren is looking really quick. You know, he's recovered so much so far, so yeah, I mean, he's already closing up on Kenta. He will soon try to make a move.
Yeah, he'll get past him fairly easily, I'd say. But he's definitely got pace, and I mean, obviously we've seen his pace all weekend, but you know, unfortunate at the start, but he's not quite in a points-paying position yet, but he will be fairly soon. So not all is lost, but still, I mean, you know, it's his debut. It's both of their debuts. You can hardly fault them, you know, for whatever happens. And he's come back from what must have been devastating at the start to not get off the line.
Absolutely. He's he's going to have I mean, already he launched into the last corner.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
We see a bit of a, whoa, I think, yeah, I mean, now he put himself in this position, which if he waited for the straight, he will have the opportunity to definitely get past him. But if he passed in the last corner, he will give him the chance to slipstream him.
Back.
So, wow.
Well, he's not past him yet, but he's certainly. But
Yeah.
Yamashita's putting up a fantastic defense.
Wow.
Fantastic defense, really good. And to get back through at Coca-Cola there, lovely. But yeah, he's still ahead. And of course, now he's got Miyake all over the back of him because he can't get past Yamashita.
Miyake will bite all the crumbles that come between those two. You will see
sure.
he will try to take advantage of that fight. He's just watching, but yeah, Ren definitely looking much faster at this point of the race.
Yeah,
wants to go forward.
Yeah, it's good to see them both running, of course, and going not badly at all. So we'll see improvements as the season goes on. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And you know, with a double header, especially with now granted these guys have raced at Fuji Speedway in different disciplines, and so they've raced here many times, but having a double header at the start of a season for rookies, that's got to be a good thing in a sense, because it just gives them a shower of experience in the format right at the start of the season. You know, a twofer right at the beginning of the campaign.
Absolutely, they both, they all have a chance to learn and improve. You know, usually Super Formula doesn't have much testing, so you'll be wanting to have as much experience on your back after this weekend to carry that into the second round. Yeah,
exactly. And now he's made it well. He's in the points. He's in the second of the points paying positions now, up in ninth, having passed Yamashita and prior to that his teammate. But now we're looking back up at Hirakawa, and his lead has grown, but I don't see by how much.
He's 5 seconds ahead of Nojiri right now. He drove a 22.9, which is almost a full second faster than Nojiri's best time. So Nojiri stopped earlier, so he was on a fresher tire with more fuel in the car. So I think his fastest lap time will not be so representative, but he'll actually be under pressure from Fenestras right now, as we can see. Sasha has fresher tires, so 4 laps to go. Can he hold this?
Yes, can he hold on to second place, or will Fenestras beat him to second? And is this OU taking another spot? I can't see the number, just a moment please. Yes it is. It's OU has just, well, it hasn't reflected on the timing screens yet, but yeah, he's
just passed Tsuboi.
And Tsuboi has had a fairly subdued race, but of course he didn't start off in a good qualifying position, so he was on the back foot from the start. But OU's making great progress.
I expect a good battle from these two here towards the end of the race now. It does look like Sasha is faster. You can see he's on the overtake system now.
Sure is.
Trying to get closer and closer and put Nojiri under pressure. But Nojiri is the champion. Can he feel the pressure? Can
he stay ahead? And I'm sure he can manage the pressure. So there's only 3 laps to go, and we'll see. This will be an exciting battle up at the front. That's lovely because, well, Hirakawa is 5 seconds up the road, so we're not going to see him. But yeah, he's a champion for a reason, and we can expect he may well be able to keep Sasha at bay. But then again, Fenestras is an amazing driver who has pulled some very good moves over his career, or throughout his career, and some great results. So it's really all to play for.
So the difference here is, well, Sasha obviously has to drive that dirty air, and once you get to within that half a second gap, it starts to become very difficult, especially in sector 2, because you have that Coca-Cola corner and the 100R, which you need that downforce. So he will be looking at closing the gap here in sector 3 and then using the overtake system. So he has to get closer here at this point of the track, and still does not look like he's close enough.
Yeah, not this lap, It's a long straightaway, but it ain't that long. It takes a lot of, you got to be closer. You just have to be closer at the start of the straight.
Oh, he's closing up here. Oof, that's a late move, and yeah, I think Nojiri is definitely watching his mirrors. You can see his response. He was responding to Sasha's move on the straight, so he's waiting because you can only make that move once. You cannot come back if you defend it. So he's just watching the mirrors and then waiting for that move from Sasha. But he's definitely feeling the pressure now. So I think
he knows. He knows full well Sasha's intent. Yeah, with that move there. And a little further back, we're looking at Oyu and Tsuboi. And we're back to the battle for second. This is Tomoki Nojiri in front, and of course Sasha Fenestras following closely behind. 2 full laps to go.
I'm getting the feeling that Nojiri's last sector here is just enough to keep him this distance. He seems to have a good car for the last sector. So
yeah, and Fenestras has not come closer this lap round through the third sector there, or the last section. And of course, well, it is a long straight, but of course from this camera angle they look a lot closer than they actually are when they're coming down there. But they were closer. He was closer. Sasha was much closer last lap, there's no doubt. So can he hold on and keep second place? It looks like he might be able to. There's not that much more to go, but of course, Fenestras pulls some great moves sometimes, although there's a bit of distance between them now, so.
I don't know if it's going to be enough. Nojiri just turned a 24-0 in the last lap. It's a fast lap, and even if you are a couple tenths faster than that, you are gonna struggle to get close. So I think Sasha is working really, really hard here just to try to keep within distance, and I don't know if he's gonna have enough.
Yeah, but he will end up with a podium, and it's not the center step, but of course a podium is better than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're coming around. We're coming around to, it will be the final lap as soon as Hirakawa has gone through. We should get the 1 lap to go indicator. Should pop up now. There we are. Good. So 6.2 seconds back to Nojiri, and we can see the gap to Fenestras about a second in arrears of our current champion. Sekiguchi has fallen back a ways, 19 seconds back. It's too bad. In the early part of the race, seeing 2 Impul cars together up in the front there, JP, gave me a real stir. It must have had the same effect for you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, a great start to the season for Hirakawa and Team Impul, defending the champions. Yeah, looks
the
like
team's
they
champions, yeah, absolutely.
Really got that car dialed in.
Yeah, it's great. And there's Hoshino-san. He'll be happy, of course. And how many seasons has a Team Impul car won in the opening round? More than once, that's for sure. More than once, twice, 3 times, absolutely. But a great race by Hirakawa, and he certainly, he kept it ahead when it mattered, and he battled all comers. That move around the outside of Nojiri was
absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. That was the move of the race for me, and absolutely great. And here we come along the main straight, and it is Yo Hirakawa to take the win in round 1 of the 2022 Super Formula season right here from Fuji Speedway, coming to you live, and that is a victory for the Team Impul driver and Yazoo Racing WEC team member. He is followed home by Tomoki Nojiri, our champion, 5 seconds in arrears, with Sasha Fenestras taking the final spot on the podium. They are followed, of course, by the second Impul car of Yuhi Sekiguchi, the number 19 machine, and then the first of the Tom's cars with Miyata taking 5th, ahead of Terasuke Makino in 6th, and Oyu scoring 7th position from his 21st place start. Tsuboi ends up 8th, with Ren Sato in 9th position. And then his teammate, of course, Atsushi Miyake, is 10th, and so they both get points on their debut, followed home by Kenta Yamashita and, of course, In 12th place, it's Sakaguchi, followed by Kunimoto in 13th. Of course, three-time champion Naoki Yamamoto takes 14th, with Oshima is 15th, and I couldn't read past that, but there we are. A fantastic result for Team Impul, but just so great for Hirakawa, a great drive, and it's just the perfect way to start off the season. Wonderfully well done.
Yeah, what a great race by Hirakawa, and what a statement that move was to get past Nojiri. Nojiri drove as a champion today. He adopted the right strategy, made the undercut, but just didn't have enough at the end. Hirakawa just had more pace. You know, still, I think we're gonna see a good battle this year between these two. Of course, still early. We're gonna have many contenders this year, but Hirakawa and Nojiri very, very strong.
Very, very strong. Yeah, and a great statement of intent from both of them. But you're right. There are 5 or 6 drivers that could be taking the fight to any of the others, and it's going to be a fantastic season. This has been a great opening round to show us just where people are laying, where people stand, I should say, in the pecking order.
Also, a great start for Kondo Racing Team, as you see. Sasha Fenestras capitalizing on a strong weekend so far, being in 3rd place. That is a good start for him. He can be a little bit less modest tomorrow because he wanted to achieve a top 8 today. He's in the podium. Let's see he can get that win tomorrow. He will be a strong contender for tomorrow as well. Sekiguchi in P4 and Miyata in that Toms in P5.
In P5, yeah, all these guys are just, and they're so close, you know, it is literally, you just can't tell much between any of them. So qualifying should be very interesting tomorrow. Again, you know, having the 2nd round the day after, it's just more of the same. Let's just see if a couple of people rise to the top that didn't today, you know, some people may do much better in qualifying tomorrow for round 2. We'll have to see. It'll be fascinating.
Exactly. I mean, it was it was a shame for Ren Sato and Ukiyo Sasahara to be both starting in the front row. Ren still made up to 9th place, falling all the way back, and
right.
And
but Sasahara didn't have quite as good a recovery, unfortunately. But maybe he'll have better fortunes tomorrow, and certainly they will want to avenge, both of them, the start, that they both experienced today. And the race winner comes into Parc Fermé, about to get out of the car. He is greeted by some team members from Team Impul, and he will be, as soon as the helmet's off, he'll be interviewed by Gino-san, maybe, or somebody down in the pits. We'll see.
Hirakawa is one of the coolest guys out there. He's very, very cool under difficult circumstances, under pressure, and that's his character. You know, he's a bit shy, off track, but he's definitely a very, very strong. He's a beast inside. So
absolutely, and that move down by Dunlop just showed how intensely aggressive he can be, and he can make it stick. I mean, that was the move of the race for me, as I said. And he deserves the win, definitely. Wonderful drive.
Yeah, Nojiri recognizing him there. I mean, wow. You know, just that move he wasn't expecting over there. But Nojiri also very experienced. He knows a 2nd place is going to be a good start for him as well. Sasha also showing up there. Also will be very happy with this start of the season, scoring strong points.
Yeah, absolutely. Scoring strong points. As you said earlier, it's so important to get a haul of points earlier in the season, or as early as you possibly can, when other people may be having difficulties that prevents them from grabbing points. So it can be one of the easiest times, or the easiest time of the season, to hopefully get some points, and people are well aware of that.
Yeah, remembering they don't throw results away this season, so every time it counts.
Every result counts. Absolutely.
There is the hug.
Fantastic. That is great.
And
I mean,
Hoshino is just such a character. He was a driver for a long time. He knows drivers better than anyone else. So he knows, he's pure emotions, and he will come to the driver and really acknowledge that victory. He's that type of a team director that he will be with you through the tough times, and he will be with you through the good times. So.
Fantastic. And he's one of those people who's experienced all of that. So many highs and unfortunately some lows too, but so many highs as a driver and as a team owner and director. Just an amazing guy, absolutely amazing guy.
I'm not sure what he's saying on Michael's ear here.
Yeah.
Hoshino is always a funny character, is always making jokes.
Making jokes,
always
yeah,
making jokes. So he'll be very pleased with that start.
This is a pretty much perfect start for all of them, and it does show a statement of intent to the rest of the pack. It should be fascinating tomorrow what happens tomorrow morning in qualifying, just to see if any of the lower placed positions from today do any better tomorrow. I'm sure that everybody will be trying. And now we've got an interview with, of course, the race winner, Ryo Hirakawa, and he will give a couple of comments about the race. We'll listen in for a bit, see if we can hear a little bit of what he's saying. But as you say, JP, he's a guy who he does his talking on the track. You say he's a shy guy, he's not a big talker, but on the track, he absolutely makes his presence felt.
Absolutely. I mean, that move was just, his signature. The first time I actually had an impression of him was in Super GT in 2015. He's making moves at the end of the race when me and my teammate were fighting for the championship. But I mean, what a driver! Really looking forward to seeing him fighting this season with, with the likes of Nojiri and Sasha and his teammate Sekiguchi as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a really strong crop of drivers this year, really strong. I mean, you look across, and of course, with the Toyota-powered cars coming back so strongly in comparison to results from last year, and top 12 on the grid today, for example, in qualifying, under a second, just amazing. So it is incredibly exciting, and it's just getting better and better all the time. It's wonderful.
Yeah, tomorrow I think drivers will be more relaxed for qualifying. I think they will understand the car better. They have the experience from today, so they will be trying to maximize. Let's hope that Ukio Sasahara can recover from his difficult day after qualifying on pole today.
Absolutely, yeah. We do want to see him come back and do better. It's so unfortunate that happened, but that might be the impetus that he needs to pull off a stunning result tomorrow. So you never know. It could have a silver lining. But there's one other thing about coming back tomorrow. We don't know. I don't know what the weather forecast is for tomorrow, but is it going to be sunny 2 days in a row at Fuji? It's not often that happens, actually. If it's sunny one day, it's going to be raining the next. So we'll have to see if that's how it turns out.
I don't have the weather crew here with me, so I'm not sure as well, Len, but whatever weather, we will have exciting racing for sure.
No doubt, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, see this guy again trying to start the season in the most perfect way by achieving 2 victories, and of course Nojiri offering that
this is
resistance.
Leah from the pit.
Yeah, Leah?
Oh, thanks, Leah. Go ahead.
Okay, that was Ryo Hirakawa, who is a champion for the season opener. And he said, I'm tired, it's kind of a long race. I felt kind of long race, and I was really excited. It was a really exciting race. It was a battle with Sasha and Nojiri, but I'm glad to make it to P1 today. And we pushed the maximum, and I really care about the tires to work through the race. And it goes, and then the comment goes to Hoshino-san. And Hoshino-san was saying, Hoshino-san, the team director, Hoshino-san was saying, I was worried about Ryo's physical condition, but he's the best driver we have, and we have trouble on Friday, but we fixed it to work it out. And it was really a perfect race from the qualifying to the race today. And tomorrow we have another race, but we can all rely on to Ryo. We have no problem. So it was a perfect race. Back to you.
Fantastic, great stuff. Yeah, and we can't wait to see more tomorrow, you know, and do it all again tomorrow and have just as much action and just as much fun. Absolutely. But oh no, that's great. And yeah, fantastic start. A fantastic start to the season for Hirakawa and, of course, for all of the top finishers, no doubt about it. Yeah, no, that's great. I think we'll have a couple more interviews coming up now. We'll see what happens. But I want to remind everybody again, well, today is the day that, of course, you can watch the Super Formula YouTube channel, and you can watch the broadcast for free. And then there will be a charge throughout the season. But we encourage you, for fans from around the world, to watch the broadcast on the YouTube channel. You can see live race coverage and qualifying sessions. So please check that out on YouTube. It's the Super Formula YouTube channel. And looking back now, we see the podium, and they're just getting ready for the podium ceremony. And again, they're celebrating Mr. Hoshino, the fastest man in Japan. I said it before, but I'll say it again, a winner of 133 car races in an illustrious career. That is legendary. We're just getting ready to go over the highlights now. And as you can see, the start, first and second place on the grid. Both of them have trouble getting away. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Oof, that was a very close move there from the Tom's car as well. And actually, it wasn't Kobayashi.
It was Otsu.
One of the
maybe Otsu or Makino. Yeah. But this was a great move by Hirakawa as well on the inside over Sasha, of course. And here he is in the pits for his stop. Gets away cleanly. All good. But of course, Nojiri, when he came out, I mean, obviously Nojiri was ahead, had the pace. Granted, Hirakawa will be on fresher tires, but it'll take a while. This move, though, the move of the race, absolutely fantastic. Around the outside as they come up from Dunlop. And that must be Vip's corner they're coming through right there. And just an amazing move. And one he made stick. The move of the race.
And you see Kazuki Hoshino there is the son of Kazuyoshi Hoshino.
Yes.
Just as excited as his dad. So
as
I
his
think
dad, absolutely.
that blood runs in the family.
No doubt about it. And there he goes over the line, takes the checkered flag. Fantastic result. Yeah, it's just great. I'll have to go back and check the old data books and just see how many season openers has Team Impul won over the decades. It's a whole ton. How many season titles have they won? It's also a large number. But yeah, a great family and absolutely a racing family through and through. And they have the success to prove it, that they are bona fide. Just amazing. An amazing racing dynasty in Japan. Looking at the Kondo campaign girls now in the pit lane as we get ready for the podium ceremony. They should be getting underway fairly shortly. We will get a notice of that just in a minute, I assume. But it has been an amazing day, and it's gone by so quickly, I must say. And of course, we have the same thing tomorrow, and these are the Team Impul race queens. We have the same thing tomorrow, and the schedule will be the same as it was today. Isn't that correct? Our broadcast will start at 2:30. Or sorry, the race starts at 2:30 tomorrow, of course, and our broadcast starts at 2 p.m. local time. That's Japan Standard Time. And of course, there is qualifying in the morning, which is at, just a moment, please, while I find it for you. While I look at my schedule, it is from 10:30 local time, so 4 hours prior to the start of the race. We've got the qualifying session for round 2. It will employ the same format, obviously, as today, where we have Q1 and Q2. There is no Q3 this year. It is split up into a group of 10 and 11, the top 6 of each group, which move forward into Q2. And the rest do not advance. And we are just about ready for the podium ceremony, and we will have The first of the top 3 drivers coming up in just a second. Well, we'll let Pierre go through the rest of the announcing there before the people come up, and just go through a couple of the more of the points for... Okay, here he comes. We've got Sekiguchi about to come up.
見事優勝はカーナンバー20カー NX チームインパル平川亮選手表彰台へどうぞ。そして第2位はカーナンバー1チーム無限野尻智樹選手。そして第3位はカーナンバー4近藤レーシングサッシャー・フェネストラズです。最後に優勝チーム監督カー NX チームインパル星野和義監督表彰台へお越しください。おめでとうございます。それでは今大会の優勝者をたたえ君が代の演奏を行います。会場の皆様ご脱帽の上ご起立をお願い申し上げます。
We're about to hear the Japanese national anthem again, folks. And that is the Japanese national anthem. And we'll continue with the podium ceremony. JP, that was really a wonderful start. We'll just have a quick chat until they start spreading the champagne, which should be any moment. But a wonderful day, I must say. Let's hope the weather continues for tomorrow and we can get another day of packed sunshine.
Yeah, I was just told here that the weather will be good for tomorrow, at least from what we heard. So we can expect another good weather for the race. Yeah, these drivers will be very pleased to start on the podium. It's definitely you know, a pressure reliever to start the season with on the right foot. So yeah, they'll be definitely going into tomorrow with a different spirit and looking to capitalize on a stronger weekend as much as they can.
Yeah. And yeah, with I mean the weather today, the track temperature 30 degrees at the start of the race. We're still, you know, we're still in April, early April, so it is very warm for this time of year. And 23 degrees ambient temperature. If we can have something similar to that tomorrow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and that, you know, it's the tires start to be a factor as well as the temperature rising. We see, you know, that might come into play during the races as the tire don't last as long. You see people coming in, probably aiming at dividing their racing two more instead of pitting too early during the race.
Sure, and just hanging out there as long as they can.
Exactly.
Yeah, before pitting. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely see. And of course, yeah, as the temperature goes up, the strategies change. As so many things change, the strategies change, and that's what makes it so interesting. We can have a race at the same place on the same weekend, but we can have very different results just on adjacent days. There they are with their trophies, and of course Hoshino-san up in the center there. A wonderful scene, and now they're going to take photos with the team directors, so we'll let them get on with that. And yeah, all to play for tomorrow. I wonder, do you think we'll have any, do you think Ren Sato could put in a performance like he did in qualifying today and make it stick tomorrow and come off with a really top result?
He will have to, you know, focus on getting that start right. Obviously, today he got offline, but he wasn't it wasn't too strong out of the line. Sasahara had the worst deal, but because he stalled the engine. But that's something that can play psychologically as well, because if you have a bad start, then you're thinking about it, and that can come into play again, you know, on your next. So you just have to erase it and then just and try to find out what was wrong and just execute it the next time. So we'll see how he fares on that tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see. And this is sparkling sake that is in these bottles here that they may spray in the moment. It's not actually champagne, but sparkling sake. So that's kind of a unique thing to Japan.
Yep.
And
they probably want to save that to tomorrow evening.
Exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how sticky the pit lane gets when it's all got champagne all over it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So there is no spraying of the sparkling sake today, but we may see it tomorrow. So. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to what will happen tomorrow and what sort of differences we can see. What I mean is who will move up and who will pull a surprise tomorrow, who didn't quite make it happen today. Of course, Oyu at the start, Oyu had such a weak start, but to come through into a points paying position must be satisfying. And, he could be one to watch to see, will he get even further tomorrow? We'll have to see. I mean, it's all to play for, and there are so many factors that it's difficult to predict, but still he must be buoyed by the fact that he started 21st and he made it up to, what was it, 8th at the end, and not bad. Okay, it's not at the top, but it's a very good result for where he started.
Yeah, Oyu definitely had a very strong race today, one of the best movers of the race, if not the best, with 14 places. So he's definitely comfortable with overtaking. I mean, there are many names to watch tomorrow. You just have to see how they can improve, overnight. They are going to make changes to these cars for qualifying tomorrow. Some of them, maybe their teammates are a little bit more comfortable and they're just going to try and, go towards their setup a little bit more. And that can work either way. That can go, that sometimes it's just the driving style thing, and then you just have to make the car work for you. Copying your teammate not always works. So
that's true.
So it's all these young drivers, they have to discover the world ahead of them. So let's see let's see how they fare tomorrow.
Let's see how they do. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be so interesting to see. And, the conditions may be similar to today, but I do think it'll throw up some different results. And that will be fascinating to see just who moves up. And there will be a few, definitely. Since, I mean, the field is so tightly packed together, it's just the slightest of margins. As I was saying, less than 2/10 between the top runner. It could hardly be closer. It's really wonderful to see, actually. And and as the season goes on, we can expect this, of course, to close up, in fact. And so it's a very, very strong indication at the start of the season that we're this close already. And I'm hoping that it will close up and we'll have even tighter competition, if that's even possible.
I agree with you, Len. I mean, last year we had a domination from Nojiri, which is very unusual in Super Formula.
That's true.
But we do expect other teams to be closing up and, be fighting for the championship this year. Team Impo won the team's championship last year, but they didn't get the drivers' championship, so they will be aiming for that this year.
No doubt. Yeah, it will be fascinating. I'm thrilled that it's a 10-round season, that no scores are being dropped. There's everything to play for. It really is. So we're getting close to the end of our broadcast, folks, and we are so thrilled that you were able to come and join us for this, and we hope that you will join us tomorrow as well. This is me, Len, signing off with JP De Oliveira, the 2010 Formula Nippon champion, his expert. We will be back tomorrow for more. See you the next round, 2020 Super Formula.